All right, so our last presenter is Leslie McKnight. Leslie recently joined the DCL Nutrition and Animal Health as a technical sales manager. Prior to DCL, Leslie worked in technical sales at Boehringer and Ingelheim and spent 8 years working at Trout Nutrition in the research and development sector. She has a PhD in animal nutrition from the University of Guelph, a Master in Science and Biochemistry from Memorial University of Newfoundland, and a Bachelor of Science in Animal Biology from the University of Guelph. She believes that healthy animals produce healthy food for humans and cares about farming communities. Leslie lives in Puslinch with her husband and 2 active boys. So welcome, Leslie.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me today. We're talking about project management, which is really exciting to me because I love details and lists and that organizational aspect of projects. But like we've heard today, it's all about people. So you'll see that come up again throughout my presentation as well. So I've been working in industry for a while, a long time, and I've been involved in a lot of different projects. Some go really well and some don't, and it's just life. So what I'm going to do today is walk through 2 projects that are based on my real experiences. I have first changed the names and budgets to protect them.
Protect the innocent.
To protect the innocent. I feel like law and order opening here. So I'm going to walk through 2 different examples. I'm really looking, I'll be asking you questions throughout. There's no right or wrong answer here, guys. Okay. Project Smile Piggy. So imagine you have graduated and now you are making money. Yay. And you're a technical manager now and you work for a big pharmaceutical company that makes vaccines. So you're working there and your company has come out with a new methodology for vaccinating piglets. So my background is livestock, so I'm going to link everything back to that. So it's a new oral vaccine administration methodology. You're really excited about it, but you've been told sales are not meeting expectations. So you need to go and find out what's happening. So you go out and you talk to your customers. Your customers are veterinarians, and they tell you, we love this new method, but we do not have time to train people. We can't get out to the farms. Some of them are very remote locations. We only get out there every 6 months. We also have production staff that's really busy, and I don't have time to sit down and train them either. What would be great is if you could create some videos and put them on something like YouTube. So that way, no matter where farmers are across Canada, they can access them. This is a great idea. We love this idea. If you're going to bring it forward to team, it's going to help not only sales, but it's also going to help farmers deliver vaccines. So if you guys think you have a project. Yes? No? Yes? Yes? You're going to propose another project. What do you think the objective of the project would be? No right or wrong. Throw something.
To develop that video, it's really helpful to people vaccinating piglets.
Right. Yep. So creating a new video. What do you think the deliverable is? What is the deliverable that you would say here? Yes, yeah. Think specific. Put some detail around that.
The video itself, like maybe a draft, maybe, or a script first, maybe, I don't know.
Script first. Okay, so it's a process. You're going to create a video. Yes, techniques. Maybe you want to shoot it on farm, customer farm. You need the pigs, right? Okay, so you're going to make a video. It's going to be on farm. It's going across Canada. So it needs to be in English and French. Right? Should we have language involved? So what's who from the company do you think you want to involve in this project? You're going to bring it up to the team. What departments do you think are going to be involved? Communication, marketing.
I was going to say media and specialists.
Media specialists. We're going to need film crew at the back. Yep. Technical expertise. So you're gonna need a lot of people involved, right? And some of them might be third parties, and you need some farms, right? So we've got some kind of an overview of the project. So, yep, I think we've touched on most of the things. We're going to create a vaccine learning program. So this is expanding the scope a little bit. So this is a new method, but as a team, we've decided we're going to show how to do the old methods too. So it's a series of videos. So now we're going to demonstrate different techniques on farm. We know we need it in English and French language because we're in Canada and all marketing assets need to be in those languages. But through discussion, you realize a lot of the farm workers in Canada are Spanish. So if we're going to do translation, let's make it in 3 languages. Getting quicker, right? You want it on a platform like YouTube, but you're a big company. So what do you think the quality is going to be around this video? Standards are going to be high, right? Because anybody can access it and it's going to have your brand attached to it. So there's going to be a really big process involved in getting this video not only created, but approved by your organization and out in the field. So the scope in terms of people and departments, you got internal folks, you got different parties involved. And at the end of the day, you work for a business. So if you're going to put money towards this project, you're going to expect a certain return for your investments. Whether, I put 5%. So you're going to make this video, it's going to solve the sales problem, you're going to grow it. So you go into a meeting and you've got your department, and you've got someone in senior management that controls the money. You have them in the meeting. You've went over the scope, the objectives, everybody's really excited. They know it's going to involve multiple parties, live animals, etc. It's got to meet our company's rigorous standards. And your manager or the business unit director who holds the money says, I'm going to give you $30,000 and I'm going to give you 1 full-time person in marketing, but you have to have this project done before the end of the fiscal year, which is in 2 months. What do you think? Not much time. Not a lot of time, right?
Maybe you could film the video, but probably wouldn't be able to get it approved if this whole process, right?
So it doesn't seem like a lot of time. So you might say, hey, that's not enough time. But the business unit director says, don't worry, I got a film crew, use them all the time. So they don't know livestock, but they can be available in 2 weeks. What do you think? Oh, and I can fast track the review process. Are you feeling any better? Right? So there's a lot of different things that go into it, right? So when you think about your time or, the project triangle that you come back to, it's time, budget, and scope. So we have a project with a pretty big scope. You're going to throw some money at it and you're being pressured into thinking you have enough time. So these are the kind of conversations that happen and pressures that you can be under in your job, right? So you have to figure out how to deal with the communication piece of that. So if we change the scope of the project, we're going to change the quality of the project, right? We're not going to be able to do high quality videos in 2 months. So you need to be able to negotiate with the management team. Something else that you're going to encounter in industry is maybe the person in finance who holds the budget has never been to a farm before. Who's been on a sow farm? What do you have to do when you go into a sow farm?
Shower and change all your clothes.
Shower and change all your
Disinfect all your equipment.
disinfect all your equipment. Yes. What about a camera crew that has never seen a sow before? How do you think they're going to react?
Loud.
Loud. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's a real communication and people aspect to different projects that when you're working in a cross-functional team in industry, that you're going to have to deal with and manage the communication piece of it. Because not everybody understands the constraint. So you need to have, if you keep coming back to the collaborative and soft skills approach to navigate these types of situations and come to compromises, right? And be realistic about them too. So, yeah. I have another example for you. So the second example I have is, we'll call it Project Got More Milk. So in this example, you're working for a global animal nutrition company, big giant one, and they've created a novel feed product. So they've done a lot of research and product development, and this feed additive can increase milk production in dairy cows. So it's a patented technology, proprietary, and they're selling this in Europe, and it's going really well. So the company is ready to roll it out across other countries, and they come to the Canadian business and say, okay, I'd like you guys to register and sell this product by the end of 2028. In this scenario, let's say you're a research scientist or you're the research manager in Canada. So you're pretty excited about new science coming down the pipeline and technologies, and you're asked to be part of the project team. So how are you feeling about this one? You're not the project manager this time, so you're not sweating as much, right? So you know you're going to be involved in the project. What do you think the objective of this project would be? Okay. I think that's what the product does. So if you think of this big project, what do you think the overarching objective in a project?
Get this product approved in the Canadian market.
Yeah, introduce a new product, right? Yes, exactly. So some of the deliverables are getting it registered, of course, but so you want to introduce this new product. And it's a really big project to get a feed ingredient or feed technology registered and approved in Canada. So we know that it improves milk production, so it's going to have a health claim. So that already tells you that there's some standards with Canadian Food Inspection related to the registration of the product. Once you get the product registered, you also need to be able to produce it at full scale, so you can sell it across all your feed mills in Canada. So there's another department that's involved with this project. It's new, and it needs a name. It may have a name in Europe, but that name might not sound so good in French or in English or another language.
Might
So-
be available in English, French, and Arabic.
What's that?
It might be available in French and English already then, if it's from Europe.
Maybe. Experience not likely. But you might get a unicorn like that for sure. Yeah, often you do need a new name because of health claims and languages. So getting a new name is not as simple as you think. You need to target audiences, test groups, and these sorts of things. You need it, obviously it needs new packaging, it needs a marketing plan, it needs some branding around it. There's a lot of things happening. And depending on what the product is anyone in nutrition here? Taking animal nutrition? A couple people? All right, so this new product probably has to fit into a nutritional matrix somewhere that you're using for formulation. So it's complex. And as researchers in the room, you're going to have a unique role because you have to have the scientific information that's required for registration and for the health claim, right? So there's a lot going on in this project. So we know it's complex. We need high quality standards. Set aside 2 million. We'll just say many FTEs because there's lots of different people that are going to be dedicated to the project. And you got 3 years. How are you feeling about this project? Looking pretty good, right? A lot better than maybe the last project was. So what do you think we need to do next? What are some elements around project management that need to happen to keep it successful?
I think the differences between markets and quality control regulations in different countries.
So understand having multiple different teams, stakeholders. There's no right or wrong. Throw something else.
No, I think maybe a Gantt chart or something of that
Gantt
nature to
charts.
make
Yeah.
sure that there's a large amount of time, that there's many sub elements that can schedule them.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. There's a lot of phases because there's certain deliverables that need to come from R&D to get it registered before you can move on to the next step. So having a Gantt chart in different phases of the project will be really, really helpful. Yes.
Make sure everybody understands end goals and maybe sub end goals along the way.
Exactly. Clarity on roles and responsibilities. there's a lot of people involved, right? A lot of different people involved in the project.
So a project charter.
Project charter, yeah, we've heard about that too. Yeah. Well,
A lot of money, so with a budget.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, each different phase will have a budget, departments will have their own budgets as well. And also time of the people. Because everyone has a regular job that they're doing on top of this job, or maybe they're pulled out of their regular jobs to be part of the project teams. So you need a lot of buy-in and support from the entire management of the organization to get something like this.
I think 3 years are not too good.
No,
It's really, again, it's also tight.
it is tight. Yeah, you're right. 3 years is gonna go by very quickly, right?
Yeah.
When you think about, what if you have to run one more experiment
So,
in dairy cow?
I mean, the perception of stakeholders and like there's, there's not.
Yeah. So I think 3 years is reasonable, but you gotta be really effective with the time, right? Yeah. So I think we pretty much touched on most of them. Like when you have complex projects like this, you really need a structure. You need defined criteria. And you have a lot of people involved. So I think we touched on most of them. A project owner, so somebody, the manager, the stakeholders, something like this, you might have a steering committee. Like Kent said, if you have some champions, that can go a long way as well. Maybe there's at points you need to bring in a subject matter expert on a specific topic. A change manager is something that I've seen in some large organizations where they have someone dedicated to the change management piece, because we don't do, every project is to create a change of some sort. It's going to create change in the organization. And not everybody likes change. I think most human nature didn't like change at all, sometimes, depending what it is. So you need to have some champions and people that are helping you with the why. And then as a project manager, you're going to have to think of all of these scope and evaluate it, make sure you're on track. What deliverables are you needed from the different departments? So there's R&D, regulatory, and marketing. Or mostly, I'm assuming you're grad students, maybe you're hoping to go into a researcher role. So in my roles that I've held, I've worked really closely with regulatory. From getting products on the market requires science. If you have a product that has a claim attached to it, it also needs the science to back it up. So there's a really close connection with that department. On the flip side of that, all the science is great, but if you can't take those scientific messages and translate them in a way that makes sense to the consumer or end user, you're in trouble. So you got to work very closely with marketing. And in every role I've had, I've worked very closely with marketing on the knowledge transfer and knowledge translation pieces. Manufacturing, procurement, purchasing, all of these different departments will get involved when they're bringing something new. So, and then Laura, like Laura said, there's different phases, there's milestones to each phase, there's budgets. And then you're always looking at the assumptions, risks, and obstacles. So, yeah. And then I only have one more slide left. So I wanted to walk you through 2 examples. I have other examples too, if you want to come chat with me about them. One thing I wanted to leave with it's a complicated chart, but I really like this model for managing complex change. I have done training in project management, but also done pretty extensive training and change management as well. I like this model because everything's about people. And if you look across the top, if you have a vision, a really great vision, but nobody gets on board, is aligned, or cares about it, it's not going to move, right? You need a vision that some people can buy into. And then you also need people around that have the skills, that are incentivized. And they need resources in order to execute their action plan. Because if you're missing one of these elements, you can get a whole range of unhappy people. And this isn't perfect. Not every project or change in an organization is going to go through this, but you do need these things, and you can pick sometimes when you don't have consensus, because you'll have people that just dig their heels in or just try to sabotage the project altogether. Something that I've seen is incentives. So you're working in the industry now, you know, and you're being asked to do something that's going to create a lot of extra work for you. Maybe you want to get paid for the extra things that you're doing. So being incentivized. So you can see people get upset about these sort of frustration and these sorts of things. You know, resources, you might have the best plan, but it's like the Smile Piggy video, like I don't have the time, right? You don't have enough time to execute, don't have the resources available to you to make it happen. Or maybe you just don't have a clear action plan. And you get stuck. You start and then get stuck. So I think this is an interesting kind of overarching look at change management, but it also relates to any project that you could do. So that's what I got for you guys.